Hey, okay, Be Healthy Pals, Jacqueline here for a Q&A Friday. It's Friday, can you believe it? We've made it through another week, although it's been a very short week for me, so I can't say much about working super hard, but we had a 3-day week this week. It was such a blessing. I was so relaxed and refreshed, and so, but looking forward to, what up, Jax? What's 4 mean?
We had a 4-day week off.
Oh, yeah, he's giving me hand signals. I have no idea what he's saying. Okay. Anyways, but hope you're all doing well. As you're logging in, let me know where you're watching from. We have Rosemary. She's here. Hello, welcome. The purpose of these sit downs is to minimize disease, optimize health, and propagate knowledge. So we're here to chat about natural remedies, about things you can do. I've got lots of great questions. Hey, Jonas, can you get me a scripture card? I usually have one in my phone. Do I have one in my phone today? Let's see. It might be last week's. Nope. I got $1. I got $1 in my purse, in my phone. I just need our Retemery, please. So, everybody get your Retemery cards out if you have one. If not, you just have to order something and we'll ship you one. Complimentary. Thank you, Jonas. And if not, you can make them on your own note card, like so. And if you still want one, you can actually send us a envelope, a posted envelope, and with your address on it, and send it to us, and we'll ship you one. Ta-da! So our Retemery this month for November, can you believe it's already mid-November, you guys? Wow. Is Jeremiah 29:13. And it says, "And ye shall seek me and find me when ye shall search for me with all your heart." Isn't that beautiful? So good morning, everyone. Good morning, all you wonderful people. Tanya, Elba, Marla, good morning, good morning. So that is our scripture for the month. I have a new product highlight I wanted to show you. It's our elixirs. Time for show and tell. Okay, Be Healthy Show and Tell. I made some elixirs for the cough care. So cough care elixirs, this one has peppermint and this one has nothing added. So it's very plain, but it does taste very herby. What are the herbs that I've added to this? It's astragalus, boneset, and echinacea, elecampane, licorice, marshmallow, mullein. I love mullein, plantain, and thyme. It also has vegetable glycerin and water. So now, if you're not a fan of liquids, I did make a tea blend. So our herbal tea blend looks like this, and there's a peppermint cough care tea and a regular cough care tea. Isn't that great? So if you just want to make your own cup of tea at home, you can do that. And remember, you can use your herbs twice. So this package actually is a 2-in-1. You get double this when you save your herbs and you use the same herbs. What do I mean? I mean, when you brew a cup of tea, save that tea bag of herbs and put it in the fridge and maybe have a cup of tea later that afternoon. Never use the same tea bag the next day, but if you're using it the same day, boom, and you get double your herbs. Isn't that great? So make sure you take advantage of that and use your herbs twice. It's good to be thrifty. Good morning, Darlene. Good morning, Janetta. Good morning, Mary. And Tanya, I said good morning to you, I believe already, but good morning again. If I missed you, I'm sorry, but good morning, everyone. Good morning, Lula. Okay, so that was our show and tell. Those are our new products. We got some other really exciting things happening and going. So be patient as I get those things out for you that I promised. I'm sorry I haven't done them sooner, but I am working on them. So good morning. Let's get started. What do you say? Ready to do some questions? Okay. That's why you're here, obviously, right? Okay, we're going to start with Crystal. Crystal said, was there a Mary Ruth vitamin you recommend for kids to take to boost immunity in colder months? I do like some of Mary Ruth's products. You have to be careful. I don't like all of them. Some of them actually have sugar, and some have some preservatives that I'm not super happy about. But make sure you just read the ingredients to whatever Mary Ruth that you might be looking at. Most of them are pretty good, and I like them, and I've used them. I would say for your kiddos, for immunity, the best things are your D3, K2, and K7 with the K2 and a D3. You know, your vitamin C's are very good this time of year. Your zinc, your B's, those are some really good ones to have. Even making a flu bomb, not a flu bomb, a vitamin C bomb. And that recipe's on our website, okbehealthy.com. There's a great recipe for a vitamin C bomb. I'm going to edit that and just make sure your D3 has the MK7, K2 in it to make it even better for the body. always about making it better, right? We always want to just do the best that we know. So good morning, good morning, morning. So yes, I would suggest just looking at whatever one you're looking at, whatever product, and this is for anybody with any supplement, whatever supplement you're looking at, make sure you read the ingredients and make sure you find out if those ingredients are working for you. And you definitely, it makes no sense to take a gummy with cane sugar, guys. And if any of you are taking gummies with cane sugar, go right now and look in your pantry, or do it after this so you don't miss any questions, but make sure it does not say cane sugar because you're defeating the purpose. Cane sugar actually suppresses our immune system. So don't do that. It's not working. You're wasting your money. So check that out, okay? Dolores says, what do you recommend for anxiety? What do I recommend for anxiety? Well, I always tell people, acknowledge the source first. Are you starting your day in prayer? It really matters, you guys. It really matters as far as your energy levels, as far as your mood levels, as far as your, the blah feeling, have you ever just been blah? You just can't shake the blah. Like, what is on me? Like, what is going on? You've got to start your day with prayer. We're spiritual beings. We have to start our day in prayer, seeking the Lord, listening for his still small voice and his direction and guidance for our day. So there's a lot to anxiety, but that's one of the first things I always ask people. Another thing is water. How much water are you drinking a day? It's important you're drinking adequate amounts of water every day because the brain is hydroelectric and we need water to help make our brain go. And the brain is also responsible for, making those hormones, the serotonin, the dopamine acceptance, all that is being, processed through the brain. And if it's not functioning at full capacity with water hydration, starting with the basic, it's very difficult to feel happy. When you want to feel depressed when you're dehydrated. So remember, dehydrated equals depressed. So the biggest thing is to stay hydrated. Some of the herbs that I really love are passion flower, chamomile, St. John's wort. These are very calming herbs. We have it in a calm tincture. It's actually called a calming tincture. And we put chamomile, lemon balm is another great one, passion flower. So these are some great herbs to help calm the system. So that's a calming one. And then rhodiola rosea is one of my favorites. If you're really battling some serious feelings of depression, remember it's this time of year where we're getting less sunshine. It's getting darker. It's colder. I know we're not talking depression. We're talking about anxiety, but a lot of times they kind of all come together in waves. But for anxiety 1, 2, how much stress do you have on your shoulders? If you have a lot, start delegating, start saying no. Everybody say it with me. Nope. Nope, and no. Don't let your mouth overburden your back. So you might just be saying yes to so many things that you're thinking, why am I doing this? And don't lie, right? God doesn't like when we lie. And when we tell somebody we're going to do something, but in our heart, we're like, why did I say that I don't want to do this? That's the last thing I want to do. We're actually lying because then we tell them that we want to do something with them, but then we really don't. So don't lie. Just really think about something before you suggest to do it. With your friends or family or whatever. Don't let your mouth overburden your back. So those are my favorites for anxiety. Make sure you're eating well. Make sure you're getting good sleep. Make sure you get in the sunshine as much as possible. Look into a good B complex vitamin. Make sure it's a methylated vitamin. You don't want to take cyanocobalamin because that is the most synthetic form of B12. So don't take anything like that, but take the more there's the methylfolate. There's a few others that are better for you. Hydroxycobalamin, adenosine-cobalamin. Those are the better ones. And the methylfolate, methylcobalamin, those are the ones that you want to look for in your B complex vitamin. Okay. So yeah, something to look into for that for anxiety. But I do love rhodiola rosea. It's one of my favorites. And I do love passion flower, lemon balm, and chamomile. So those are really nice. You can start with a nice chamomile tea. Shemaine says, my son has had his 3rd staph infection this year. I'm concerned about the damage antibiotics can have on the gut. Absolutely, they do cause a lot of problems. What precautions can he take to prevent the staph and also how to detox from the antibiotics? Thanks. Well, so there's a few things when you guys are giving me your questions. I'll need a little bit more information. Like for example, if it's for your son, how old is your son? Is your son little? Is your son grown? Some women still talk about their kids as their babies, which I do too. My boys are my babies forever. So, but are they a grown adult? And so those are some things that I'll need to know. And also symptoms. Where's the location of the staph infection? So if you're watching, Shemaine, that'd be helpful to get some little bit more details. But if not, that's okay. I'll just kind of give you a roundabout. I just can't give you anything specific, but it's good to have some more specifics, guys. The best thing to do, I'm going to assume like the staph could be like a sore or open wound. We'll just kind of go from there. But the best thing is obviously make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you are keeping an environment for health. What are you eating? Are you eating well? Okay, you're on, Shemaine. So my question is there a location that the staph infection is recurring? How old is your son? And are there any other symptoms we need to be made aware of? But as we're going into that, and I'm waiting for you to answer, the best thing is to rebuild the microbiome. And how do you do that? You do that by taking probiotics 45 minutes before breakfast. Or you can take a probiotic that has, okay, he is 18 years old, away at college, underarm from shaving cut on leg. Okay, yeah. So I'll get right back to that then. So we have a little bit more information. That's perfect. But to rebuild the microbiome after lots of antibiotics, the best thing is to take that probiotic 45 minutes before breakfast, or look for a probiotic that has a capsule that is, what do you call that? It withstands the hydrochloric acid, so it's acid resistant. It'll just break down in the intestine and not the stomach, so it can bypass the stomach acid. And eat lots of cultured foods. Eat sauerkraut and kimchi and sourdough bread. But if you have gluten intolerances and gut issues, I don't recommend eating a lot of bread. Even if you have diabetes too, you have to be careful. But your cultured foods is what you're looking for. Your fermented foods, your coconut yogurts, your kefirs. These are things that are very helpful to re-heal and reestablish that healthy gut microbiome. But see, now we know that he did something, right? So you always want to look at why. Why is this happening? So he has a cut under his arm, she said, and where did it go? And a cut on the leg. So one, his blood, make sure he's eating well. Ask him what he's eating, go over what he's eating. If he's in college, odds are it's probably not as great as it is when you're home, but really go through the diet. The blood is such a carrier of health if we give it health, and it's a carrier of sickness if we are giving our body sickening foods. For example, refined sugar is very acidic to the body. It's very sticky in the blood. It's like syrup when the blood wants to be like water. Is he drinking water? Make sure he's getting lots of wonderful mineral salt. This is something you can send him as a college student. That's easy to do before his water is taking little crystals of salt by mouth. And so one, he wants to make sure the delivery of the blood is as healthy as can be. So watch out for the allergens, watch out for the gluten, and the gluten, I mean the hybridized wheat. Watch out for, the biggest culprits are refined sugar and then caffeine. So those are the biggest ones I would say for him while he's away, to really try to avoid, alcohol. These are things to look into. I don't know if he's drinking, and I'm not assuming anything. I'm just laying it all out there. Drugs, alcohol, all the things. Lifestyle sounds like he, let's see, where did it go? Yeah. So those are things I would talk to him about in a loving manner. But there are some things he can do topically when that happens. One, please be very careful not to tell him to be very careful not to cut himself anymore. So they're coming from cuts. Also, do not scratch or irritate those areas. And there's some wonderful pastes you can make to help when someone cuts themselves. If it's a fresh cut, I'm trying to think how I want to do this. If it's a fresh cut, you can look into aloe, like an aloe leaf. You could give him a little aloe plant for his dorm or wherever he's living. Get him a little aloe plant and show him how to make a little aloe poultice, where you just cut the leaf in half. You leave the green on and you put that over the wound. It's very healing, but always clean the wound after you cut yourself. You might want to use hydrogen peroxide. These are things he could have in his pantry, easy right there. Hydrogen peroxide, cleaning with a a healthy soap and then hydrogen peroxide. Let it dry. If it's bleeding and it won't stop, you have to pack it with cayenne pepper. I know that sounds crazy, but it already is hurting. It's already burning, so don't worry. But you pack it with cayenne and it helps to stop the bleeding and it helps to start healing and bringing fresh blood to the area. There are some recipes that you can use to help if someone is chronically getting staph into the wounds. And I have a few recipes written down for you that I have just kind of made up and acquired over the years. One is crushed garlic and manuka honey. So you just crush some fresh garlic and you're going to mix it in a very nice thick manuka. You want a high MGO. It's expensive, but it's worth every penny. And so you want to get the highest MGO you can find in wherever you're at, the health food store, wherever. And you're going to mix that together and you're going to apply that into the wound. You could do that, put a nice bandage over. You could try that as something to apply to the skin. You can also do the same thing with the turmeric and water paste, where you take turmeric and water. And I also like to add cayenne to all this, guys. So you can put cayenne with the honey and the garlic and the manuka honey. You can put cayenne also with the turmeric paste. So that's turmeric powder, water, and a little bit of cayenne. You're making a paste. So just start slow with the water and make that paste so you can actually put it into the wound, especially if you know you're susceptible to staph infection easily, which sounds like he is. He said he's had it twice, or three times. And so we don't want to do that anymore, right? You can eat fresh basil and also use basil juice as a topical application because basil has such great properties in it to fight staph. There is something called basil juice. Can you believe it? Tea tree oil is one of my favorites as well. Tea tree oil is great. Apple cider vinegar sprayed on or patted topically is also good. It may burn a cut, but hey, it's better than a staph infection. And then compresses. You can look into different compresses. You can try potato poultice if there's a lot of inflammation. You could try, a few things like that. You could even do golden seal paste, where you mix golden seal. You could even have fun with it and do golden seal, turmeric, manuka honey, ginger. I mean, you could go all out if you want to. So those are the things you can play with to make your own paste at home, basically to apply it. But golden seal, water, and cayenne, pack that in a wound, put it in the sunshine. So those are some things to help you and your son, help you tell your son to try to do. But the best thing is, one is keep the environment healthy. Go through his lifestyle and his diet. Make sure he's eating well and keeping the blood well. Okay. If you have any questions, I'll look to see if you're right. But if not, we'll just move on. Abby says, teeth are healthy. Teeth health. I'm thinking soon your teeth will be healthy. See, this is the believing. Abby says, teeth health, how to help my young son with cavities to naturally heal. We eat pretty clean, no sugar, water, hardly any dairy, no hybridized wheat. Okay, so how do you help your teeth to heal? Some of the things, okay, Charmaine, awesome, good to go. So a few things, Abby, you can look into giving him more D3 and K2. That's very helpful for cavities. And there's a fantastic book. It's called Holistic Dental Care by Nadine Artemis. It's very, very good. If you can't find it, we have it at the store. It's a very, very great book. Has lots of wonderful natural remedies. Has lots of wonderful recipes for like homemade toothpaste and mouthwashes and you name it, from cavities to root canals to crowns to gums, receding gums. She talks about everything, and it's a really great book to help you. So that's something I would suggest getting and looking into to help you with him, and up his minerals, up his maybe get him taking more Celtic salt, or taking Celtic salt and eating that as well. Coconut oil pulling is fantastic. So take a teaspoon of coconut oil, teach him how to pull. I don't know how we connect here. Okay, looks like we're reconnected. Coconut oil pulling is fantastic. So have him take a teaspoon, swish it, and then spit it outside. So you swish it for about 15 to 20 minutes. Depending on how old he is, I'm not sure if he'll want to do that, but try to get him to do it as long as possible. 20 minutes is ideal. And spit it outside in your grass or in your flower beds. Okay. Now, she also said, rheumatoid arthritis. My sister has it in her hands. Now, my mother has it in her hands and spines. Things they can do to heal. So go over the diet with them. You'll have to talk to them about the food that is actually very acidic to the body and actually is removing minerals from their bones. And that is going to be caffeine. Caffeine is very acidic. There's refined sugar. Super acidic. It takes your minerals out of your body. You can test your urine after you eat a lot of sugar and all the minerals are in your urine. So you want to be careful. Your minerals are used to alkaline that acidic substance to get it out of the body. It's an irritant to the body. Same with caffeine. So really go over their diet with them. I know a lot of times they don't want to hear these things. There's a lady who came in the other day and she was telling me these things. I was like, oh, it's just this. All you have to do is that. And she's like, well, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to take that away. And I thought, okay, well, then you're going to have that issue because it's just how it goes, right? If you just got to have a real honest and open conversation with them and say, hey, let's talk about your diet. Let's talk about ways you can eat more gluten, or less gluten, less refined sugar, and more wholesome foods. Talk about healthy smoothies and get some ideas going for them and help them. But how much water are they drinking? Have them eating some Celtic salt. Maybe get them a little rebounder. Talk about rebounding gently to help rebuild bones, or swimming or biking or walking gently. These are some things that help to rebuild bone. Also, wild yam cream. Wild yam cream is one of my favorites to help stimulate hormones naturally through your body's natural symphony of making hormones. And I would suggest just start on the wild yam cream regular, and it's made with chasteberry, wild yam, olive oil, and shea butter and aloe. And so they would apply this twice a day, 3 weeks on, 1 week off. You apply to different places of the body, and you can apply about a pea-size amount or 1/8 of a teaspoon. Just a little scoop. And you're going to apply that 3 weeks on, 1 week off. And men can also use wild yam cream for hormonal imbalances, bone loss, and things like that as well. They would just apply it twice a day and no break. Same thing, you just rotate the places: inner wrist, inner arm, inner leg, face, chest, neck, back of the knees, bottom of the feet. If you're really sensitive, you could start slow and do it at the bottom of the feet. And you just rotate the places. So this jar should last you about 3 months. And we have many different kinds. This is the regular. There's a mild that has no chasteberry. Then there's a plus, which has added Dong Quai for hot flash relief. And then we have an extreme men's, extreme women's, that has a lot of wonderful herbs for hormone health, but also for specific men and women issues in the body. Just keeping men and women healthy with certain herbs that are known to help men or women. Okay. Now, it also comes in oils too. We have oils for those. So that's something she could do. You can look in Dr. John Lee's lectures. He really knows a lot. He's passed away, but his old, I wish there was more, but his old lectures that have been preserved, there's not many. There's probably 3 or 4. I've watched them many times, but he is just a wealth of knowledge as far as using wild yam for stimulating your bone growth. And he has wonderful studies, wonderful charts. He talks about how his patients within a few years had 20% new bone growth in their spine from using wild yam, and obviously changing their diet. He said all of his patients had some improvement, but his patients that had the most improvement were the ones that also changed their lifestyle, changed their daily habits. So make sure they're getting the sunshine. Make sure they're taking a D3 with the MK7K2 form. It's important to have that one. That way the calcium is delivered to the right parts of the body and not to the organs or the arteries. Okay, those are some things you can do to help them, and talk to them about that. There's also obviously some poultices they can make. There's comfrey salve to help the pain while they're healing, while they're waiting for that in-between stage, that waiting stage of the body to heal. There is comfrey salve, and then you can use poultices, like a ginger poultice is good for joints. If they have a lot of pain in their joints, make sure they're hydrated. And then she says, my nephew just died from stage 4 cancer. I'm so sorry. Stomach cancer. And I know my sister and nephews are taking it hard. What are simple meals or things to keep them nourished during this difficult time? I would say something easy. Smoothies are easy. You don't have to think about it. It's just something right now they just, with their mourning, and their sadness, sometimes it's just, you just want to make sure the nutrients are getting into the body. You don't really care about eating. I mean, that's how I am with death anyway. I kind of go in a fasting state. And then there's times where I'm like, okay, I need to eat something. So juicing is always helpful. Juicing lots of fresh fruits and vegetables. Smoothies are wonderful. Easy, simple meals. Make sure there's fat, make sure there's fiber, make sure there's protein. If I was to make a meal for someone, it'd probably be easy things like spaghetti, squash spaghetti, with a side of vegetables, or stuffed sweet potatoes, just easy things that are easy to care and eat. And there's not much cleanup. So if you're taking them food, just make sure there's not a lot of cleanup. There's no preparation needed. All they have to do is eat it and then or compost the utensils. Okay. And she says, my other cousin is battling skin cancer. Any suggestions there? He's refusing chemotherapy, wants to do more natural route. There's a few things. Obviously I can't go into super extreme detail. You can schedule consultations with me. And that's available on my website, okbehealthy.com. If he needs a phone, okay, there we go, reconnected now. If you feel he needs a consultation and more in-depth information, but the biggest thing is to starve cancer. Cancer loves acidity. Cancer loves an environment with no oxygen. So it loves darkness. Cancer loves those things. So the first thing you want to do is you want to starve cancer, meaning don't give it anything that's alkaline, acidic. So give it things that are very alkaline. So to fight this cancer or disease in the body's very alkaline system, you want to give yourself a very alkaline system. You do that by eating lots of dark leafy greens, right? Greens are very alkaline. You do it by eating foods, staying away from acidic foods, refined sugar, right? Alcohol, unneeded drugs. So these are some things you have to go through with him, with his diet, and ask him to be honest and say, what are you eating? What are you drinking? All the sodas have to stop and waters are just taken in. Exercise, right? So we want to give the body very alkaline and oxygenated system. So get out and exercise, get in the sunshine. I've known people just to go to the beach. They just leave everything and they go to the beach and they've healed by just starting to eat well, breathe the fresh sea air, let go of the stress. It's just amazing what sometimes getting out of our environments, sometimes our environments and our daily lifestyle has become so toxic to us that we're just in a sludge, a chemical soup of toxicity. So sometimes you just need to step out for a minute and reassess what it is you need to do. There's some great books by Doug Kaufman, and he has a book called Cancer is a Fungus. So that's a great book. It has lots of wonderful protocols in it for killing cancer. The best thing is to kind of go on a Candida cleanse protocol. By going on a Candida cleanse protocol, which is no sugar for 6 weeks. And then rotating certain herbs like olive leaf, oregano, pau d'arco, grapefruit, as long as you're not on medications. So these are some really great antimicrobial, antifungal, echinacea. These are some good ones to help help heal in the body. It's a really big question when people are battling cancer, but the first thing that they can do right away that costs no money is to really evaluate what they're eating, what they're drinking. Are they in a home with mold? Like, just sit down and ask all these questions and get yourself in a healthy environment. And there's some really great teas. There's Isiac tea. There's black salve. There's some really great herbs out there. I had a woman come in, had a skin cancer on her chest, and I walked her through it and helped her with using black salve topically, and it pulled the cancer off her chest. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful process, how that happened and how that came off. And she just, it's just amazing how the body can heal itself when you give it the right conditions. Risa said, hello, I purchased your Mindful and I was wondering if I could put it in water or if it has to be straight from the bottle. So yes, you can take our Mindful tincture. I don't think I have one over here. But yeah, you can take any tinctures in water, guys. If it's too strong, too sweet for you, dilute it for sure. Dilute it in some water or in your smoothie or in a juice. That's totally fine. The only one I recommend just going straight for it is, not mixing with stuff, is going to be your Parasite Cleanse. But you can put it in juice and water. Meaning I wouldn't put it in like a smoothie. I would just put it in something simple. But Yes, you can do that. Lisa says, what can be done for sleep apnea? My husband has sleep apnea. He no longer has sleep apnea. What you can do for that is really avoid all carbohydrates, all gluten, wheat especially, those 5 food allergens. You have gluten, you have refined sugar, you have oats and peanuts because they contain lectins, and peanuts contain mold, and dairy. So if the dairy is not organic, and some people can't tolerate dairy at all. So those are some things to consider taking out of the diet to see if that helps the irritation, the inflammation in the chest relieve and be less inflamed. There's also mouth tape you can use, and I brought some to show you. This has been super helpful. If my husband is not wearing mouth tape, I know it. So I'm always like, hey, get your mouth tape on. And so I don't know if you can see that there, but you just put a little piece of this tape on the mouth and you go this way. And you can still breathe out the sides, no problem. It's not hard to breathe out the side. You're not going to die. And you just help, and it helps you to nose breathe rather than mouth breathe. A lot of people have sleep apnea because they're mouth breathers, and they're trying to struggle to breathe. But if you start to retrain your body to nose breathe, it makes a world of difference. So this has been helpful for him. He no longer has it when we're using this, and I can tell when he hasn't used these in a while because later he'll start to go back to his old ways. So we'll break out the mouth tape again. But so mouth tape is helpful, watching your diet, make sure you're drinking enough water, getting enough minerals, and if you need if you need to lose weight, do that. How's the best way to lose weight? And that is through going on a ketogenic diet, intermittent fasting. Those are my favorite ways. And I've seen people lose so much weight just doing that. Your ketogenic diet can be plant-based or it can be with clean meat, however you find is best for your body. So those are just some things that are helpful to help him to lose that weight. Okay. Someone said, what was the doctor's name? His books are called, his name's Doug Kaufman. He has some really great lives. It's called Know the Cause, Doug Kaufman. And he's on Rumble too, and Facebook. He's got some live shows he does, but he talks about cancer is a fungus, and he has some great protocols, and he has some great books. Cancer is a fungus is one of them. You don't need the giant book. You could get the little handbook. It gives you just what you need to know. Okay. Good. All right, moving on. Denise says, what can help with pre-diabetes? Wearing a CGM to test blood sugar for a month and almost 2 weeks, and fasting level is around 100 and fairly goes below 100. Spikes happen with any meals, including carbs. Ding, ding, ding. Did you guys hear that treasure of information? Spikes happen with any meals, including carbs. Okay. So what do we need to do? Your body's already telling you, and you already have an idea, well, you got to stop the carbs. So stop all wheat. No one should be eating, especially anyone diagnosed with prediabetes or diabetes, should be eating any hybridized wheat. None whatsoever, zero. Not till you get your blood sugar under control. And even then, you have to be very mindful and use moderation when you do have some, and pay attention. I believe that they're trying to kill and make people diabetic for life, because all the recipes on the diabetic association pages or anything with diabetes, like healing promoting, is all hybridized wheat. Have you seen it? It's terrible. And it's actually what makes your sugar go up the most. So avoid those refined carbohydrates, just stop them altogether. And you already know that because you mentioned it here. So it's amazing how much you guys actually know about your health that you don't give yourself credit for, or you just don't want to do yet, or you just need a little extra nudge in the right direction. She goes on to say, postmenopausal still have warm flashes, even with the extreme wild yam cream, and LDL is around 100. Had the test to check the blood particle sizes, and the small sticky ones were high, 900-ish, but the big fluffy ones were high as well, which I'm told is good. Would be very grateful for any tips, suggestions. So sometimes you have to be on your yam cream for a year to see that all balance out. So give yourself time. I don't know how long you've been on it. Remember, a normal blood sugar is 100 and less. So obviously not 0, but less than 100. So if you're at 100 on a fasting level. That might just be how your body is. So don't be too alarmed. You're actually normal. But pre-diabetic is 100 to 125. That's when people start to say, hey, you may have pre-diabetes happening here. And diabetes obviously is 126 to 200 plus. And so you want to be really careful about your blood sugar. So, but what are some great herbs to help with the blood? You have turmeric, you have gemina, you have chromium, there's fenugreek, there's cinnamon, Ceylon cinnamon. I said cayenne pepper, ginger, bitter melon is another good one. Basil, holy basil is good. American ginseng, berberine. There's a whole plethora of wonderful herbs that are very helpful to help you manage and not manage, but help you regulate. I guess manage is okay. Manage, regulate, support, balance your blood sugar. But it's really important to stop the culprits, stop the refined sugars, stop the sodas, stop the gluten, stop the things that are causing your sugar to go up and your blood to spike, those levels, and then stick with healthier options. Chromium is good for people who really crave sweets. If you have a serious craving for sweets, then try chromium, okay? Chromium is a good one. I remember my mom putting me on that when I was a teenager. She's like, you're concerning me. You're going to get diabetes with all the sugar you eat, which I did. I ate so much junk food. So she put me on chromium for a little bit, and it did work. I remember not craving the sweets. So that was nice. So yeah, just look at how much water are you drinking? How much exercise are you getting? How much sleep are you getting? These are all things that can actually trigger high blood sugar, including sleep. If you're not getting adequate amounts of sleep at the hours of power, you really need to reevaluate that. It affects all kinds of things in the body. Sleep and blood sugar is one of them. And sunshine. Make sure you get out in the sunshine, okay? Jean says, I'm told I have a damaged nerve in my left cheek sinus area. I use a special nasal spray to cut down on the drainage. I've had bacterial pneumonia twice from it. You've had it twice from the nasal spray or from the drainage. Do you have any suggestions of what may help dry up some of the drainage or minimize it? I don't want surgery that they're suggesting. Any suggestions would be helpful. Thank you. Yeah, I would maybe look into sniffing golden seal, because that's amazing for sinuses. And I'd also look into taking golden seal. I would also seriously cut an onion every day and make myself cry and sniff it up my nose, like nose breathe onion like crazy. If you could diffuse onion, fresh onion, that'd be great. Your house will smell like, bad underarms, but that's okay. Yeah, that's what I would do. Get some really strong onions and chop, and nose breathe, chop. So it's like all of that is getting into your nose. All the wonderful, fumes from the onion is getting in your nose and your eyes. Cry. Make sure you're crying to help the drainage. That's what I would do. I'd also do an onion poultice over the side that has that. Those are the things that I would do. I'd also probably take turmeric and sniff golden seal. It's worth a try, and then go through your diet. What are you eating? What are you drinking? What are you not eating that you should? What are you eating that you shouldn't? What are you drinking that you shouldn't? What are you drinking that you should be? So go through all that and make sure you're giving your body the best conditions to heal. Dunia says, last Friday my question was about a lump in my breast. You recommended beta-glucan, grapeseed extract. I'm having trouble locating these two products. Also, I can't find Kaufman's book, Cancers of Fungus. And which wild yam cream do you recommend? If you have 3 types on your website, thank you. So I recommend calling the store. Our number is 405-837-5379, so we can help you put a box together. We have all these things. We can just we can ship it to you if you like, the beta-glucan, the grapeseed, and the book. So I would recommend calling the store, and you can even throw the wild yam cream in there. There's 5 different yam creams. There's a lot of yam creams. For someone who's just starting out with it, doesn't have extreme hormonal imbalances, I always recommend the regular. It's when they have hot flashes, then I'd say, okay, try the plus. Or I'm super sensitive. Well, try the mild. Well, I'm a man. Well, do the men's extreme. Or the regular. Well, I'm a woman and I'm having extreme hormonal imbalances, blah, 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 blah. Their whole list of things that are happening to them. Night sweats, hair loss, low libido, vaginal dryness, all these things, like huge lists. I usually say go for the extreme. So it really just depends on what your symptoms are. Let's see. I think that answers that one. Maria says, hi, I'm 68 years old. I had hysterectomy when I was in my 40s. For a few years now, I've been having lack of energy, sleep, joint pain, lack of motivation, hair loss, etc. And I'm just not feeling happy. I also was diagnosed with colitis 2.5 years ago, having a lot of gut issues as well. I'm taking a supplement with prebiotics, probiotics, postbiotics. That does help to some extent. Let's see. She says, because of my hysterectomy, I know I'm lacking estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. What would you advise me to do at this point? I would recommend Wild Yam Cream. So you could start with the extreme, or you could start with the regular whipped Wild Yam Cream and help you balance your hormones. And I talked about how to apply that earlier, so you can just go back to the beginning of the video and listen to that. But it's very simple. It's 2 times a day, 3 weeks on, 1 week off. The 1 week off would be your period week, or the week off would be, even if you don't have a period anymore, you'd still take a week off. So you can mark that on your calendar. That will definitely help with all the things you just mentioned. Also, consider a very good B complex vitamin. Remember, we talked about the good vitamin Bs earlier. Also, never take cyanocobalamin. Never. That is toxic. Go look in your pantries. If you have it, trash it. That is synthetic. It's not doing your body any good. It's a waste of your money. So don't take it, and it's hurtful to your body. Wild Yam Cream. Colitis, for your gut issues, definitely look into repairing the gut. You could try gut repair powder. You can help your digestion using a colon tea, a digest tea. You can start taking slippery elm every day, or aloe. Says you're taking probiotics, so that's great. Make sure you're taking it 45 minutes before breakfast, or in a acid resistant capsule. That way you can get to the gut where it needs to be. Most people waste a lot of their money every year because they're not taking their probiotic right. And what's the point of a probiotic if it's not getting past the stomach acid? Okay, Clara says, hello, I have purchased your hawthorn berry powder to add to drink. I'm just unclear on how much to use in 1 cup of liquid and how often I can drink this. Yes, Clara, so what we are doing is I'm working on making all of our labels better and easier to follow and to follow instructions on. So the new hawthorn berries look like this. The old label didn't have all the instructions on it, so the new ones do. So basically, you take a 1/2 teaspoon of powder, and you can put it in any kind of liquid. You can put it in a smoothie, and a 1/2 teaspoon equals 1,000 milligrams of hawthorn. So you can take between 3,000 and 5,000 milligrams a day in a smoothie, in an add to your tea, whatever you like to do. So hopefully that answers your question. I'll also make sure I write out that question for you so you can see it if you're not catching this live. So, but yeah, look for new labels and easier to follow instructions on all of our teas and our blends. That is a good question. Okie dokie. Hawthorn berry is good for the heart. So if anyone needs to strengthen the heart, or just help the heart out, hawthorn berry is really good for that. Okay, and you pair it with cayenne pepper, it's even greater. Mackenzie Madison, any wild yam cream without aloe vera? I'm allergic to it. Actually, yes, we make all of our yams in an infused oil form. And so that's just olive oil and the herb. So if you do not want shea butter, if you do not want aloe, if you just want very basic, we have a carrier oil, which is the olive oil infused with our wild yam and chaseberry. So it's very simple. So I would recommend using the oil. And that's why we make the oil. People are always like, why do you have oil? I'm like, that's the reason right there, for people who are allergic to certain things. Penny says, hello, I keep having problems with constipation. I go fine for a few days, then not. Trying to eat more fiber, but maybe not enough. If I eat rice or pasta, it will automatically constipate me. Ding, 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 ding. Did you guys catch that? Okay, Penny, you already know the answer and you answered it. You said, if I eat rice or pasta, it will automatically constipate me. My system seems to be so sensitive. What can I do? Thank you. 1, stop the rice and pasta. Stop the rice, pasta, bread, stop it all. Your body doesn't like it. Your body's already telling you. You already know what your body's saying. I don't like this, because it's constipating you, probably bloating you, making you uncomfortable. That's what happens when I eat a lot of rice and pasta as well. So I don't eat a lot of it. I try to do things like cauliflower rice or spaghetti, squash as a noodle, Even the rice noodles, I love them and they're great. I just can't eat them every day. And I have to be careful because same things, it makes me bloated and inflamed and constipated. So you have to be careful. What I would do is stop all those things and I would just eat the things that you know keep you moving well, which is a good fat, good fiber, good protein. Those are very good things to help move the colon, keep the colon moving. There's something called colon tea that helps you if you ever do get constipated and you find yourself having those things. Shake it a little bit so you can see, but this is colon tea. And depending on your regularity, you drink a certain amount every night before bed. So if you're going a certain amount of times, it'll tell you going less than once a day or going less than 3 times, or you know what I mean? So if it's like, if you're not going every few days kind of thing. So yeah, it's made with cascara, buckthorn, and licorice. So it's good. It's kind of bitter, but then sweet at the end because it's got the licorice. So you can drink colon tea. We also have the colon tea tincture if you don't want to mess with teas. Now remember, you don't want to do it forever. You want to make sure, you want to address why am I constantly constipated. But one, I would take the culprits out first. Stop eating them altogether. See how you do. You might find yourself sorted completely. You could consider the colon tea. You could consider adding more dried fruits to your diet as a little snack. They're higher in sugar, so if you have diabetes, I wouldn't recommend it until you conquer it. But there's dried mango, there's dried plums, there's dried prunes, there's dried apricots. Woo! You eat more than 4. Wow, you're going to be going to the bathroom for sure. And there's also enemas. You can do enemas, dandelion enema, charcoal enema. And again, I have a really bad connection, I guess, today. Hopefully you guys are hearing me all right. But there is, what was I saying? That threw me for a loop at the moment. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So you can do a charcoal enema if you want to. If you find you have a lot of heavy metals, you can do a dandelion root enema to help with the liver. I prefer those to coffee. I don't take in any caffeine in coffee. I don't take any coffee in. So I prefer dandelion root or charcoal. You can do baking soda if someone has colon cancer. You can do lemon water for a lot of alkalinity, to keep you alkaline. There we go. Alkalinity. There we go. There's the word. Okay. So those are some things you can look at for that. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I will answer a few of your questions if we have time at the end, guys. Right now I'm just going to answer these ones that we took early, but your questions do matter. So stick with me to the end and I'll try to answer them at the end for you. Robin says, first I want to thank you for everything you do. My question is, I have been stuck drinking Pepsi all my life. Oh, if I don't drink it, I get so sick and trembly. Bless your heart. I also smoke cigarettes and it seems I cannot shake either one. I'm a very picky eater, not a whole lot I like. Can you please tell me how or what to do to get off this stuff? I love your heart. This is incredible. And I love your honesty in all this. It's so beautiful. What vitamins I can get all of my nutrients from? Please help me. First of all, you're welcome. I love doing this. It's such a blessing to be able to do like God's called me to do and to encourage other people. So thanks for being here. Do you know I was addicted to cherry sodas, the cherry one mixes? I won't say what brand, but I was addicted to that. Oh my gosh, you guys, I was junk food queen. I did not eat healthy at all as a teenager, or even a young adult. It wasn't until I had children that I started to think about my diet, and I had some I started to get sick. Tonsil stones, tonsillitis, acne, skin issues. A lot of things were happening to me. And finally, I realized it was my diet. And so it was time to clean up. So the best thing to do, there's certain people tend to go certain directions. Some people are like all or nothing. I'm all in, let's go, never looking back. If you're that way, then that's a whole nother system, but it's easy. You just stop it. You just stop it. And then you go to drinking lots of water. You go to, anytime you get that pain or that headache feeling, cause you're going to go through withdrawals. I tell people eat a piece of fruit or take a spoonful of honey, Manuka honey, because it's like an instant sweet, to the brain and it kind of helps. Excuse me. Getting through it is the hardest. But once you break through of that detoxing, you'll come out feeling incredible. I would recommend doing one and then the other, because that's a lot of things that you have habits of. And so I would recommend picking one that you think you can do easier than the other, which they're both hard. And cigarettes are actually laced with cane sugar, with sugar. So a lot of times people aren't really craving the nicotine. They're really craving sugar, because when people stop smoking, they also, have you noticed, they just start eating so much sugar. People say, oh, I gained so much weight because I just have this sweet tooth. It's unstoppable, blah, 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 blah. It's typically because the cigarettes are now laced in sugar. So it's sweet. So that's why you're also addicted to the caffeine, but also to the refined sugar. So I would, now, if you would rather like slowly wean yourself, then there's healthier soda choices to wean yourself from Pepsi. So I call it the going from toxic to better to optimal. And so toxic would be the Pepsi, better would be like Dr. Zevia. Dr. Zevia has a cola brand, and then there's Olipop's. Those are healthier, right? Those are better. So I would suggest if you're missing that carbonation, go for it. If you want to do something like a Topo Chico, where you put a little maple syrup or honey and a little lime or lemon, a little orange juice, something in there to give it flavor, as a homemade soda, you could do something like that as you're weaning yourself off of it altogether, and then just slowly going to water. You can do it. We'll all be praying for you. I love that you're wanting to get off this. That is incredible. So keep that in your frontal lobe, in the forefront of your mind. Pray on it. God will help you. Juicing is fantastic for anyone who is trying to wean themselves off of smoking and drinking sodas. It's juice. Juice. Get yourself a juicer, or find someone that can juice you fresh juices and juice like crazy. It really helps to detoxify, but also to help you, fill that craving, that need. There's also a great herb called lobelia for smokers. Lobelia, Lobeila, lobelia. We have a tincture called Quit It, and that's for lobelia, that's for the smoking. And then we have calming, which is helpful for addictions. We have an addiction relief tincture too, that's for those cravings, those addictions. But chromium is helpful for helping you curb the cravings of sweets. It's going to take you time. So give yourself grace. Don't stop trying. Every day do a little better than before. Just say, okay, how many cigarettes am I smoking? So drop the cigarette. So instead of, I don't know how people smoke really, like instead of 5 a day, go to 4 a day, then go to 3 a day, 2 a day, 1 a day. So you'll know the best how to accomplish that for yourself. If I was extremely sick, I would definitely stop everything cold turkey and be all in towards being better as soon as possible. But if you are you feel okay, there's nothing serious, and you just want to slowly wean yourself, that's what I would do. So hopefully that helps you. And if you have questions, Robin, feel free to message. But we'll all be praying for you. That is incredible. I love that you are so open to talk about that. That's great. Rebecca says, hi, Jacqueline. Please tell me what I can take year round that will build my immune system and keep it strong. Thank you for your help. Echinacea. I love Echinacea. Echinacea is fantastic. I love D3 with MK7, the K2, and the MK7 form. Those are some very helpful things to have all year round. Get in the sunshine in the summertime, so you stock up on your natural D3 production, your sunshine vitamin. Those are my biggest ones. Oregano is a great one also. Zinc, these are good ones. But really, when you eat well, you stay hydrated, you exercise, you laugh, you just enjoy life. Like you just find yourself feeling well. Start your day in prayer every day. But sometimes though, it's time for a house clean. Sometimes you're going to get sick because the body needs to purge and detox and get rid of things. So, but my favorites are definitely Echinacea and oregano. There's elderberry too. Some people can't do elderberry though if they have diagnosed with autoimmune issues. First thing you want to do is figure out why you've been diagnosed with that. What are some things you can do to help heal the body from that diagnosis? And then you can look into elderberry. But Okay, Melissa says, how to detox toddler 2 years old properly and correct amount. Heavy metals and parasites, etc. I would just start with easy things like give them smoothies every day with dark leafy greens and beautiful berries, because they naturally have all the things to detoxify. You could even add a little charcoal. By a little, for a 2-year-old, I'd say probably like 1/4 of a teaspoon. It'll turn the smoothie a little black. It might turn their stool a little black. But as long as there's plenty of water or even coconut water in their smoothie, you won't have to worry about constipation. You could give them a little bit of a parasite cleanse. You could do like 1/4 of the dropper that we have. And it's sweet. It's one of my favorites. It's not an alcohol. So you're just like, oh, this is so gross. It's sweeter because of the vegetable glycerin, the natural, non-GMO organic vegetable glycerin. But you could always hide that in the juice, if you were concerned about parasites. And then zeolite. Zeolite's another good one. Thuja is good if you're concerned with vaccine damage and heavy metals from that. Cilantro is incredible. Remember, guys, kids and babies are just little tiny humans. So they're just like us. They're just little tiny and they don't weigh as much. And so they won't need as much in the body as we require. Okay, moving on. Shirley says, my son is experiencing something like hypersensitivity, nerve, skin conditions that feels like sharp stabbing needles on his body. It occurs when he builds up a sweat in the gym that is ongoing and it perhaps triggered when feeling stressed. My son stated it happened again this morning in the gym when I was on a treadmill, so I had to switch up my routine and take it slowly right now. I'm just trying to fight back with B complex and vitamin B12 supplement, magnesium pills. I just don't want to feel like my body's poking me with a knife all over my skin. Yeah, we don't want you to feel that way either. That's terrible. When I start to break a sweat in the gym or just walking outside with a temperature shift, it's painful and irritating. Will he have to see a neurologist or dermatologist for this? I recommended he change clothing to 100% cotton, but he doesn't seem to think it is his clothing, and recommended he take cat claw from Vimergy. It's been happening on or off for a few years. Your expert advice is welcome. Thank you. One, I would say, what's his diet like? How old is he? Sounds like he's kind of on his own. But first and foremost, Shirley, ask him, what is he eating? It's so important. People think, that they want to disconnect what they eat to how they feel, which is, it doesn't make sense, right? So, it's like a flower. Did you ever do that experiment where you water a plant or a flower, like a white daisy with red food dye? You water it and the flower turns red. So it's a very simple thing. So go through that with him and ask him what he's eating. The biggest culprits for feelings like that is going to be hybridized wheat and refined sugar, caffeine, oats, because they have lectins, and watch the food dyes, and peanuts because they have mold. But I would just have him go on a complete cleanse of his food. But that's not bad. There's a lot of other things still to eat. You can eat lots of good fats. You can eat lots of protein. You can eat lots of good fiber. So there's so much food still to eat. People, you know what? We've never lived through the Holocaust. Read a book on the Holocaust, and you'll know when someone says, maybe these foods are hurting you, you won't feel like you're starving. Because I've had people say, oh, well, that leaves nothing to eat. There's so much to eat. There's so much to eat. We're not starving. Praise the Lord. Well, hopefully we never have to experience starvation like that in our lifetime. But it's okay to let go of the things that are hurting you. And there's so much good things you can eat. And I never finished that for, what's her name? Her question. Where'd she go? She was asking, Robin, because she said, I don't like healthy foods, but you'll find that as you take the bad food out, you'll slowly start to enjoy foods you normally have never eaten before. And same. So I really have him go through the diet with him, really clean it up. Make sure he's drinking enough water. Make sure he's getting his mineral salt. I would have him to start doing hydrotherapy, cold plunges, where he cold plunges for I think the best way when you're new to it is you just start small. Something like 30 seconds, 10 seconds, nothing crazy. Definitely end with cold showers. After a hot shower, end with cold, shock the body, to help with that. That's what I would do. Would I go to the dermatologist, neurologist? No. I wouldn't jump to conclusions until I've done the basic, which is cleaning up the diet. Once the diet's cleaned up, then look into it. Look into mold in the home. Look into what is he eating? What is he building his body off? Nora says, I get UTIs repeatedly, so I'm always on antibiotics. I knew what that was like. I don't have that anymore myself, but we'll talk about that. They said that I have a stone on my right lower kidney, but they just keep giving me on antibiotics or an estrogen cream. I don't want that. I tried oregano oil, but it doesn't work. And then the doctor gave me something called Hyperex, and it has formaldehyde in it. Oh my goodness, that can't be good for your kidneys. I don't blame you. So, Nora, I used to have chronic urinary tract infections, and there's something called D-mannose. You take a teaspoon of D-mannose and a little bit of water, about 2 to 3 ounces, and 1 teaspoon, and you drink that. You drink that about every 30 minutes until the pain goes away, 30 minutes to an hour. But when I knew you want to wait, you want to be ready for it. So if it happens, you don't wait a day, 24 hours. You start right away. The moment you feel like you possibly could have a UTI, you need to start D-mannose right away. So have it on hand in your home, travel with it. Don't be without it. 1 teaspoon, 2 to 3 ounces of water, mix it up, take a shot back. Do that every 30 minutes to an hour, and you should see the pain reside if you've started it right away. Sometimes it's hard to catch it when it's a very nasty, progressed urinary tract infection. Okay. Now for kidney stones, we have a really great kidney tea. It's called Kidney Care. It's made with so many beautiful herbs. I was super excited to make this. And it's one of the most beautiful herb blends I made. It looks like a forest. It looks like a little mini forest. But there's celery flakes, corn silk, couch grass, dandelion root, milk thistle. It's also known as dog grass, couch grass, milk thistle, parsley leaf. Beautiful. And so there's a protocol for kidney disease on here, or just everyday kidney care. It's a great tea for that. There are herbs called Stonebreaker. Obviously your old-fashioned remedies like lemon water, those are helpful. You can also eat juniper berries. The protocol for eating juniper berries with kidney stones is you eat 1 juniper berry on day 1, and you progress till day 15. I believe you eat 15 berries on day 15. And then you go down from there. Or it might be eating 14 berries on day 15. I have it written on the card. But then you go back to number 1. So after, like, let's say it's 15 berries on day 15, then on day 16 you eat 14. And 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, you go back down to 1 on day 30, 31. So juniper berries are very helpful for helping break up kidney stones. They taste like a pine tree, like a little burst of I thought it would be like fruity, but it's kind of like piney. It tastes like a pine, like you're eating a pine cone. Not that I've ever eaten a pine cone. Okay. She says, I really pray that you can help me, Jacqueline, please. That's so sweet. Remember Psalm 46:1. I love this one. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Go to God. He is there. He's listening. He will help you. That was something I thought of when our store got hit by a tornado. I thought, well, God's our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. So no matter what you're dealing with right now, always have that verse in your mind. Remember to run to God. He is your refuge and He is your strength. He is your present help in trouble. He's there. Present means He's there. You just have to acknowledge that He's there. Julianda Ross says, hi, natural way to treat, back to the UTI. So after you've knocked out the UTI, you're going to then take it 3 times a day. Morning, afternoon, evening. And then you take it once a day for a week. So you do that for a week. You do 3 times a day for a week. And then you do 1 time in the morning a week until you've knocked it out. If you find you're susceptible to UTIs, then you can just take them you can take a teaspoon every morning. It's great for the elderly that are in homes that have chronic UTIs because it helps to keep the bacteria and these reoccurring for them. And it keeps you off antibiotics. I remember that. It made me so sick. My gut health was poor and terrible. But now I just have D-mannose. D-mannose to the rescue. Okay? Okay. Julianda, hi, natural way to treat seborrheic dermatitis on the scalp. Thanks for your time. The biggest culprits I've seen to that is going to be caffeine. So stop all caffeine. If you're drinking coffee, stop. Don't hate me. But stop it all. Don't drink anymore. It's very acidic. It's very dehydrating, and it causes a lot of those problems on the skin. Also, refined sugar and hybridized wheat are big culprits. Oats aren't for everyone because of the lectins, and peanuts have a lot of mold. So, you really just have to, can some people tolerate peanuts? Yeah, because they have really strong hydrochloric acid. It doesn't bother them, or they haven't had any antibiotics or anything like that. They haven't destroyed their gut health. But just be really mindful of that. But I would say definitely stop that. You can try topically calendula salve, or calendula tea, or chamomile tea. We have a skin clear tea, which is very good. We have it in a tincture form or a herb, and that's very good for helping clear the skin. Calendula is one of my favorites for and chamomile for healing the skin. How much water are you drinking? So go through all the things. Go through your lifestyle. Go through all the things. Make sure you're doing all the things you need to be doing to encourage your body to heal. Mel says, hi, is castor oil and digest tea safe while pregnant and breastfeeding? What's the best way to keep iron levels high during this time? Well, you know what? I recommend not really messing with herbs when you're pregnant. Just give your body the optimal with fruits and vegetables and water and mineral salts. You can be very selective. I would say maybe one at a time, and do your research, make sure it works for you. I don't really tell people much when they're pregnant. I just kind of leave it to them if they feel like they should do it after they've researched it or not. It's really their choice. There's a lot of mixed studies too. So I was the mom that gave my infants honey. Okay, so I can't tell people to do that. But that was me. That's me. I've always done that. My kids have always been fine, healthy, safe, no problem. So you'd have to just use your best judgment. Castor oil, yeah, it should be safe. Depends on what you're doing with it, where it's going, how much you're using. Definitely don't drink castor oil like they tell you to. It actually causes quite a lot of inflammation. And Melly says, thoughts on Isaac tea? Good, I love it. Red light therapy, love it. It's great. And Becan rebounder, please. I don't know that brand, Becan rebounder, but as long as it doesn't cause it, as long as it bounces with you and doesn't bounce against you, it can be really hard on the knees if you have a very cheap, terrible rebounder that's not moving with you. So make sure you just, I have a Nuwan, Newan at home. I love it. It's super soft. I used it at a lady's house. I tried it at a lady's house and I thought, this is great. I think I paid like $80 for it. And then there's really expensive ones. There's Bellicons. There's all kinds. There's actual rebounders. So just depends on your budget, and also make sure it's, if you can, bounce on one first to see. And then Gina says, can comfrey be used or metal rods or screws? Can comfrey be used on metal rods or screws? And the answer to that is no, it can't be. So do not use comfrey over metal rods or screws. You can use it on another arm that doesn't have it. You just can't use it over the arm that does have it. So hopefully that helps you. So I have a few minutes. I have 2 minutes, so I'll answer a few questions. We have a subscriber on, Raina. I have wear and tear shoulder pain that goes down my arm a little. I started comfrey yesterday. Is there anything else that can help? Wear and tear shoulder pain. So there's a few things you can do. Is you just started the comfrey, so it does take time. Sometimes you won't see instant relief. Sometimes people do. But definitely use the comfrey salve. You can wrap the shoulder in a castor oil compress, the shoulder that's aching you. Rest it. Do not be using it. If it's wear and tear, you need to rest it and let it rest. But the comfrey I would use comfrey every day. That should definitely help you over time to help that. Wild yam cream helps strengthen bone. Then there is, your ginger's good for inflammation. Turmeric's good for inflammation. Make sure you're staying hydrated because water is what's used to make the synovial fluid in our joints, in between all the ligaments and joints and all that. So those are things that's something I would do for the shoulder pain. Yeah, that's what I would do. You could even do, no, I would just do a castor oil compress. You could try ginger if it's hurting. And if you find the warmth feels good, you could try that. Cindy says hair loss. Yeah. So one, you want to acknowledge what is the hair loss from. Some people have a lot of hair loss because something happened. They either injected themselves with something, or they were on steroids, or they were on a medication, or they had stress. So acknowledge, try to pinpoint and look into your history of why and when it started. Stress. These are things to look into. What I found to make people's hair fall out a lot is caffeine, high amounts of caffeine intake. I mean, any caffeine intake isn't good for you. So caffeine can be very dehydrating, and also leaches minerals, and our hair needs all the minerals it can get. It gets the extras. So, make sure you're eating lots of minerals for hair health. You can make a hair mask out of castor oil and rosemary essential oil. You can also add cedarwood oil to it. And you can massage the castor oil and the drops of essential oil into the hair. Make sure your shampoo doesn't have sodium lauryl sulfate or any other harsh preservatives. Look at my hair's all crazy now. Any other harsh preservatives that actually encourage the hair follicle to fall out. That's not good. We make a hair, skin, and nail tea, which is infused with so many wonderful herbs to help stimulate hair growth, like horsetail, rosemary. What else do I have in there? I have a ton of things in there. Rosemary, horsetail. I'm drawing a blank. But there's some really great herbs in there to help you with your hair growth. What else? We make a tincture in it. I like a shampoo bar for people who are just trying to give their hair basic and wash the hair. And that's called, it's a shampoo bar called the Yellow Bird. And we have their shampoo bars on our website. Those are helpful because they're very clean ingredients. So you don't have to worry about anything toxic to your hair. Okay, well, that's all the questions we have time for today. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I do have a fun announcement next Thursday, 3:30 to 4:30 at the Prepare for Healing building. I'll be doing a live class on boosting your immune system to the max. So maximizing your immune system, what that entails. We're going to be talking about supplements. We're going to be talking about natural remedies. We're going to be talking about recipes. We're going to be talking about being proactive, all kinds of wonderful health tips and tricks and things that I do. I don't like the word trick. I don't know why I say that. Tricks. No, it's just tips. They're just tips. Natural remedies. There's nothing tricky about it. But you can come to the store or you can join our subscriber page. And when you join our subscriber page, you can join that. And part of the membership is complimentary classes once a month. And so the complimentary class this month is the immune system to the max. And you have 30 days to watch it on there. So join the page if you like. You get all classes for free, and we do one a month, so that's fun. I believe that was all my announcements for today. Just the class next Thursday. Yep. Okay, you guys have a great week, and go after your health. Go for it. What's to stop you? Go and try it. Prove all things, hold fast that which is good. Okay, have a great day, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.